In addition to the qualitative techniques that are available to help you categorize and prioritize risks, there are also quantitative tools that are available to you. Um, the cool thing is some of these tools are also built into other software like Microsoft Project. Like there are add-ins to help you do these things if they're necessary for a particular project. A few examples of the types of quantitative risk analysis that you might do. We've actually talked about one already, and that was PERT analysis. I I think I talked to you about that in terms of estimating the duration of activities on your project schedule, where essentially you come up with an optimistic, pessimistic, realistic estimate of that activity's duration, or you can also do it for cost estimates as well. And then the formula provides you with a weighted average that factors all of those into account when coming up with an estimate of time or cost. That is the fact that you're incorporating an optimistic and a pessimistic as you're coming up with those numbers while trying to come up with your estimates. That is a form of risk analysis. The fact that you're coming up with these differing estimates is symbolic of the uncertainty that's inherent in performing those. So that's one example. Other examples is you can run simulations. Monte Carlo simulation. We that's not a test question. You don't have to remember Monte Carlo simulation, but that's a very broadly applied statistical simulation technique outside of project management as well, that allows you to just run different to run different scenarios, to test different assumptions, perhaps early on in terms of, well, how quickly can we get it done if we have this many programmers assigned to a particular task, as opposed to a lesser number or a greater number, or um, how would the outcome of the project change if we had if some of the task dependencies changed, if our critical path changed as we move around our timelines and our deadline date? What does that do to the sequencing of activities? How much risk is involved in crashing a project schedule, when you're in a situation where all of a sudden you're really having to fast track a project through to completion? So there's that, and different types of sensitivity analysis, going in and seeing how sensitive the changes to your model are. In this case, your model would be the budget and the work breakdown structure. How sensitive is the model that you've created for how the project is going to look to different changes in the project parameters? So that's a very high level look at quantitative risk analysis. There's a whole other course dedicated to risk analysis that if you want to learn more, I do believe it's in there. But there's certainly tools the quantitative tools do certainly exist.